Welcome back everybody into this tutorial series where we are taking this website design and we are making it better by using web design principles and some accents. So here is the overall website which we've been redesigning, and here's the redesign. So you can see so far we have completely overhauled the hero section from this into this. Today we're going to be working on this video explainer section, and if we have time we might go down to the features right here, but we'll probably just be working on the video section here. So very simple section in principle. There isn't really much wrong with it. Sorry for that. There isn't really much wrong with it, but there could be many improvements still. So let's start. Let's just go over here and let's get ourselves a bit more of a space. Let's add another 1024 or source. Okay, so here, let's actually make this longer just to give ourselves breathing room. Okay, so where do we start? Obviously, we want to start from the headline, and I'm just going to be using sort of the same like layout which we are creating here, and basically just write out this headline into 48 pixel, semi-bold, enter. So it would be enter the font. Um, then what we're gonna do is we'll simply make this shorter in relation to its width. And here we want to take inspiration from this 52 pixel line height. Okay, actually 52 pixel line height here. And let's actually emphasize this. Okay, so the same thing we have done before. So very simply, I'm just going to show you what we did in the previous time to get a cool gradient effect. We just start from the brand blue and we should end at the brand blue. At 2 points, we want to introduce a darker blue, and I'm just going to make it a bit more darker here. And we want to make that dark blue very specific to a point. Obviously here, we want to make this shorter, and we want to add another point for which we introduce this dark blue, and the design should end with simply a blue color here. So let's just narrow this down here too. And that's it. Very simple. Just a cool effect for the text here, just to make it more interesting. Okay, so now let's copy over the content here, the description, and we're gonna make it regular, and it will be small, around 14 pixels, and also line height. Then let's reduce its width. Then let's actually grab the color which we have been using over here, which is 70. Okay, let's just give it here. We don't want to have to give this more of a visual hierarchy than it needs, so that's why we make it gray. So next up is see it in action. It might be something cool to incorporate, but really I don't have a place for it here. I think it's a bit pointless in this case, so I'm just going to leave it out. So let's just group these two. Actually, before that, okay, let's do that first. Let's group this into our headline. Then let's give this around 16 pixel gap here. Center alignment, everything's great. Then we would want to have a call to action. Let's just duplicate here. Okay, so the reason I'm not using this watch demo call to action is because we are already at the watch demo section. So that's the actual name of the section, so there won't be any point in repeatedly adding that button. So now we're going to group everything into the header, and instead of primary CTA, since there is only one, I'm going to call it CTA. Then let's work here to make it around 32, central alignment, and everything is good. Okay, so next we want to incorporate this video, and obviously we can't really make a video, put it inside in Figma. So I'm just going to create a 1920 by 1080 rectangle. Then I'm just going to make it smaller while keeping its aspect ratio. So, okay, just around here, 1024 maybe, to make it consistent. And let's give it some corner radius around 12 or 16 maybe. Yeah, 16 I think works nice here. So then let's make it more interesting instead of just leaving it as a square here. So let's just give it some color, a darker tint of the blue which we've been using, and just to give it an indication, I'm just going to create a circle inside. I would give it some fill, or maybe not stroke here. So just make it circle here. Then let's go over to our shapes tool and grab our polygon. Obviously flatten it, make it a bit more rounded, around 4. Then I would give it white. Or we can also give it this color. Then let's rotate it to about minus 90 degrees and give it a 48 pixel height. Okay, let's make it a bit more big. Okay, since Figma doesn't really work in centering polygons, I'm just gonna center it like as I see it visually instead of actually using the guidelines. Then I'm gonna group it here. I'm gonna flatten it into play button and video container. Now we can just group these two elements here, add auto layout to them, and center align everything, 0 pixel gap, and we are done. We are done here. So obviously, instead here, we can go and make this white the center, so it's just more visible. And here is a simple yet efficient video frame. So then what I'll do here is before actually grouping everything and finishing off the video section redesign, why can't we make it more interesting? So there are so many ways of making a design more interesting. So in the hero section, obviously we took the parts where they were trying to make some sort of accent, and we actually completed that idea with this the gradients, obviously, the shapes and overall design accents. So here we can do the same thing, but what can we do? So here uh, in the video section, I would like to put in like floating elements that signify uh, what the actual software accomplishes. So what how would that look is, for example, uh, for example, let's write out some feature. Okay, we can actually just copy it from here since we already have it designed here. You can duplicate and put it down here. Okay, let's write out some a feature. Uh, we make landing page creation simple. Okay, so this is a feature. So we can now, what we can do here is we can rotate it and change the variation here. So what I mean by that is we can, for example, we can, okay, rotating it would be one thing. Okay, let's actually lock this in place for now, since we don't want it to interfere. Then we can duplicate this. Okay, we can actually put them down here. Okay, so maybe we can experiment with something like this, where we provide a list of features below the video. Okay, so that's one direction we can go in, but I actually have a better idea. Okay, so it's just about experimenting at this point. So the overall design is this. Okay, so everything you need in a video section is complete here, but you need to make it more interesting to have a more valid brand. So what I'm thinking is to have a circle, for example. This circle would be 64 by 64. Let's remove the fill, and instead of the fill, we can go to Unsplash, which is a popular image plugin. We can go to Unsplash and search for a person, a man, a woman. For example, let's search for a man here. Let's take a professional headshot. Okay, so let's take this image and put it in a frame. Okay, so this will be the image and this will be the image accent. Okay, or we can just say accent. Then we're going to make this 16 by 16 padding, 0 pixel gap, 999 corner radius, and we're going to give it a stroke. The stroke would be the color which we have been using here, which is D4. Okay, so let's just give it here, D4, and this will be the stroke. Okay, so now to make this more interesting, instead of a solid stroke, we can make it a dashed stroke and increase the number of dashes. Also increase the gap. Okay, around 6 dashes, and round out the corners. And this will be a more interesting appearance. Okay, so what we can do is we can take this and like put it all throughout the section. Okay, okay, so just make sure to not overdo it. Okay, maybe just on top here, we can put them here. Then what we can do is we can go over and change the actual images to make them feel more consistent, feel more interesting, because like repeating images feel off. So we can now just search for a person, can change all the images. Uh, yeah, so Unsplash has many good images. Can choose. Okay, finally this image. Now we have a more varying image selection. So what we can do is we can take all of them and give them an actual fill. So this fill will be white, but it would just be 1 pixel. Okay, 1% opacity. Then we're going to go to effects and go to background blur. Then we're going to increase this to around 64. Okay, so now we would have this cool glassmorphic effect. And actually here, I don't believe the the stroke works here. So we would have to change the stroke a bit, like uh, make it solid instead of, or we can experiment with it, but for now let's make it just solid. Let's make the color pure white, or we can try to make it our brand color, but a lighter shade or a darker shade. So a darker shade I think would work nicely here. So that's one thing we can do, but you can see like most of the section here uh, is white, so there won't be much use in using this glassmorphic effect. So I'm just going to take these accents outside of the overlapping area. Then I'm just going to add a gradient here, the same gradient which we have used on the hero section, we can reuse here. So maybe you can make this bigger. So if we do like this, like you can see that's bad visual hierarchy, as the as the shade just takes control of everything and makes for a wrong contrast. So if we could have it like this, and actually I'm just going to revert back to make these corners, or just D4. Okay, and just you can now see the difference, but I will just place these in their original positions. Okay, so already this feels much more interesting, but you have to be careful to not overdo it. Okay, so you can just go and keep adding and adding, and at some point it will feel bad. So here, just to remove clutter, I'm just going to group everything into accents, and I'm just going to make them uh, like line by line, and I'm just going to make the whites full white. Following that, I'm just going to give it a -16 or negative maybe 32 spacing and hot content width. Now here, taking this, I can place this right here, and it will give off an interesting effect. Now, can we not use this? Okay, so if we duplicate this and place it here too, I think this is all the visual interest points that we need. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and place them in relation to the video, center it to the video's border. Okay, then we'll take everything here and group it into video accented. Okay, finally we're gonna group here everything into video section, or we can just say demo section, demo video. Okay, so let's take it below the hero section. Okay, here. Now you can see like we went through many different iterations. First there was just the features containers, then we went to like dotted borders, then we moved to the gradients, the glassmorphism. Finally we landed here. So like I could crop everything out and just show you like the final design, but instead I'm deciding to show you how we get ideas and how we get interesting designs from experimentation. So I'm just going to finally just put it in relation to this, a 96 pixel difference. And let's reduce the size here of the window. And this is our final section for the video. So here to this. So again, thanks everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please just go grab this Figma file in the description and experiment with it. Do what I did, like try to figure out a more effective way here. Just learn by trying yourself. If you want private mentorship, by the way, I offer that, so you can just DM me on my X. I'll leave the handle in the description too. So again, thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.